Welcome back. Let's review Key Realty's Exclusive Buyer Representation Agreement. This is a required form for agents representing clients in a buying transaction. This Exclusive Buyer Representation Agreement is one of the most important tools in your kit. Think of it as the employment contract between you and your client. It moves a person from being just a customer to a client to whom you owe professional loyalty. Here is how you can explain each section to your future clients in plain English. The first sections of the agreement, sections 1 through 4, are the sections having to do with the core relationship between the agent and their client. These sections define what you will do for them and what they promise to do for you. Purpose and exclusivity. You are their exclusive representative. This means they agree to work only with you and our brokerage during the term of the agreement. The term. This establishes the start and end date of your partnership. If they are under contract on a house when the agreement is set to expire, it automatically extends until the deal closes. The referral rule. If the client sees a for sale by owner sign or gets a call from another agent, they agree to send that info to you rather than reaching out directly. The next section, sections 5 and 6, are about getting paid and protecting your time and pay. This is often the most sensitive part of the conversation, so clarity is key. Negotiable fees. You must explain that commissions are not set by law. They are fully negotiable. How it's paid. When filling out this section of the form, you will fill in either an amount in US dollars or as a percentage of the final purchase price. The $290 Key Realty brokerage fee is already filled in. If you or your team has an additional administrative fee, you will add that to the $299 and input the final number in the box. While the fees listed are often covered by the seller, if the seller's offer doesn't cover your agreed-upon amount, the buyer is responsible for the difference. Retainer fees. Some agents charge an upfront, non-refundable retainer for their time. If the buyer eventually closes on a house, this amount is typically credited toward the final commission. If the buyer does not purchase a property, the agent retains the retainer fee. Protection period. Our protection period is 6 months. If the agreement ends, but 30 days later the client buys a house that you originally showed them, you are still entitled to the commission. This protects your hard work. The next section, Section 7, talks about how the buyer should do any research, inspection, and investigation they need to do to satisfy themselves. You, the agent, nor the agency make any warranties or representations for the buyer's purposes of making a purchase decision. Section 8 talks about potential conflicts. Real estate can get complicated when dual agency occurs. Other buyers. You might represent 2 different clients who both want the same house. You agree to keep both of their offer terms confidential from one another. Dual agency. If your client wants to buy a house that you listed or that another agent in our office listed, you become a dual agent. In some dual agency cases, you become a neutral mediator and cannot provide the full range of fiduciary duties, like helping one side get a lower price than the other. Section 9. Consent to delegation allows another agent in the agency to work with your client should you not be able to due to vacation or being otherwise unavailable. Section 10. Leasing or optioning means that this agreement shall cause compensation to be due should the buyer choose to purchase a property that meets the criteria set by renting or leasing or through a land contract purchase. Section 11. Indemnification says that the client shall hold the agent and broker harmless should a claim or damage arise from this agreement, so long as the claim or damage was not due to gross negligence or an illegal act by the agent or brokerage. Our next section, Sections 12 through 15, have to do with termination of the agreement, fair housing, and blockbusting. Breaking up, either party can end the agreement at any time with a 10-day written notice. However, if they fire you and immediately buy a house you were working on, you are still owed your fee. Miscellaneous. This is the whole agreement. There are no other agreements between you and the buyer, and if there were, they've been condensed into this agreement. Fair housing. This is a non-negotiable legal commitment. We follow all federal and state laws to ensure no one is discriminated against based on race, religion, sex, disability, or other protected classes. Remember, blockbusting is illegal. Section 16, Other Terms, is a spot for you to fill in information about what your client is searching for, properties covered by the agreement, etc. Section 17 asks the buyers to initial to indicate that they have not signed a similar agreement with any other agent, and that if they have, they could be liable for paying multiple commissions. Finally, the signature section asks for all buyers party to the agreement sign their names with a date and printed name below. You can also fill in their information to the right if you would like. You will sign at the agent as well.